A very good morning, welcome. It's Jeff Laughton online at about 10:30 on Saturday, the 26th of April. If you're new to the channel, you're more than welcome. My name is Jeff Laughton and I've been a professional punter for over 30 years. Now we go up a couple of notches today in racing quantity with no less than 5 flat meetings. It doesn't look any easier as yet, with the form just needing to settle down maybe another couple of weeks more. We've got the Guineas coming up, I think, in 2 weeks today, I think it is. So once after that, I think it really settles down. Now, I don't post videos every day as it's a bit too time consuming for me at this time of year, but I always try to do it for you. It's imperative, therefore, that you hit the subscribe button below. It is totally free, it doesn't cost you a penny. But what it does, when I put the video up, you get a notification coming through. Then you're not having to hang about searching and see whether I can do it or not. And then, as I say, you'll save time. So just hit that button. Now, since I put my email address below, I've had several emails asking me how to be a professional punter. Would I recommend it or not? Well, I'm not sure about that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a day in the life of a professional gambler, and then you can see, if you are interested, whether it is something you would want to do. So the first thing you need is time, and I mean plenty of time. It doesn't matter about money, because you can start off with any amount and build from there. So you don't need a £10,000 betting bank. You can start off with whatever you've got and bet within your means. But the first thing you need is time, and plenty of it. So today's racing started for me at 11 AM yesterday, as soon as I finished yesterday's video. I ran off all tomorrow's cards, all today's cards. I use the At The Races website, as their race cards are far better than the Racing Post. I then started to put my figures to all the races. Now, I'm looking for races where there are horses that stand out on figures. For example, if a horse appears to be £4 or £5 ahead of where the handicapper thinks they are. If you don't have your own figures, use something like the Racing Post ratings. They're very good. So when I finish that, I may have between 4 and 10 races to look at, but I don't do that until the following morning. So next morning, depending on the day or how many races I have to look at, I would normally start no later than 6 AM. This morning it was 5 o'clock. The alarm went off, nice and dark, still at 5 AM, and I got up then, have a cup of tea, and then we start. So if early mornings are not for you, then neither is being a pro punter, to be fair. So the first thing I do when I start at 5 AM is I mark up all the Betfair prices, which gives me an indication of where we're starting off. I revisit that every couple of hours and then add the current prices, and I get a market drift or a market, which way the market's going on these particular horses, and I can see whether money's coming or whether it's not. Then after the second cup of tea, I start wading through all the races that I highlighted the day before, and I start watching videos of their previous races. Now, some people will only watch their last couple of runs, but if I have the time, I'll go back up to a year to look at races that were comparable with similar ground and distances to give me clues for today. So if I've got 10 races to look at, I may come up with 2 or 3 bets. From 8:15 AM, I can start getting those bets on. Now, I have a few accounts that I have access to which are not in my name, but I also have 3 separate people that move money on my behalf. They have what are called marker accounts, so the bookies use those to gauge what is likely to come when the general betting public start betting a little later. Now, they'll lay me horses to lose about £1,000 a time in the morning, but all 3 have access to several bookmakers, so the potential winnings soon mount up. So that part of the day is done by 9 AM. I don't often bet after 9 o'clock. Then I start preparation for this video, knowing that it has to be on by 11 AM, and I just about catch the deadline for that. Try and grab a bit of breakfast whilst I'm preparing the video, and my personal trainer arrives at 11:30 AM, which gives me half an hour to run off tomorrow's cards. I do an hour in the gym, taking me to 12:30, a quick shower, and then an hour to start marking up tomorrow's running, and then racing starts. That takes me to about 5:30, but obviously it's longer when night racing starts. As I'm the cook in the house, and a bloody good one as well, I might say, I then have to find time to cook and eat dinner, normally a couple of hours. Try and finish off the figures then, sometime after about 8 o'clock, and I do my best to be in bed by about 10. So we're talking about a 17-hour day, and this is 7 days a week. My next day off officially is the 23rd of December. So do you still want to be a professional gambler? It's not as glamorous as it may seem from the outside. In fact, it's quite a lonely existence. I put up with it because it allows me to spend winters in warmer climates, and having laptops, I can do that from anywhere in the world. So that's it in a nutshell. I hope that's put you off. Let's look at a few races, and remember that it's not a tipping channel. This is more an educational channel where I can teach you how to bet and be a bit smarter and cut out mistakes, many mistakes that I've made along the way. Now, I do a private service, and if you want to know what I'm backing, drop me an email at the email address below, and I'll let you know exactly what you need to do. They're on average about 2 bets per day, and they're sent out at 8:30 to your phone. There are actually 2 bets online today. Now, let's look at today's racing. At my local track, Haydock, in the 4:25, William Agus unusually runs a horse after a 4-day turnaround. That horse is, Maelstrom, who fairly bolted up earlier in the week at Yarmouth and runs under a £6 penalty. The handicapper as yet hasn't reviewed the race from Yarmouth, but when he does, he's sure to give Maelstrom a further £6 to £8 more than he carries today. He's also entered again on Monday at Windsor, but he would have to be mighty impressive here to see him take up that option. Assuming there is no worse for his run in the week, he will be very hard to beat here. Excuse me. Now, I told you yesterday that my Gosden informant had told me all about Fifth Column, who was back from 5-1 into 5-2 before winning at Sandown. He tells me that theirs in the 4:45 Cajole and the 1:30 Antrim have both improved markedly from their debuts. Neither would be a nap, but I'm passing that on in case you were thinking about betting on either. At Leicester in the 4:50, there has been good money this morning for Waistcoat from Dylan Cunha's yard, but Rafter was just touched off 3 weeks ago on his return to turf over this actual course and distance, and he'll go very close here with Billy Loughnane keeping the ride. At Doncaster in the 5:50, Owen Burrows runs Alafareka, I think it's called. Now, she cost a staggering 1.6 million. She didn't set the world alight on debut in December, but she has come forward a lot since then, and if she's to be even slightly looking to be worth what they paid for her, she ought to be winning this. At Ripon in the 4:35, Roger Varian introduced a nice one in the shape of Empress of All. She's been working well in Newmarket, and the bar is not set very high at all here from horses that have already run. The only reservations are the undulations at Ripon for a newcomer, but assuming she handles the track, she should be winning. At Wolverhampton in the 7:45, Sir Mark Prescott runs Threatening, 6 days on from his last win at Southwell. Now, he looked like a typical first time in a handicap Prescott horse, very green but full of potential. Now, they go up a furlong today and put cheek pieces on. He's entered on Wednesday and Thursday, so if he wins tonight, expect to see him at one of those 2 places. Now, I'll leave it for today, but make sure you do hit that subscribe button. It's so important, otherwise you're going to be first to know when I've put the video up, or you're not going to be sat around all day waiting. So hit that subscribe button, and that'll let you know just as and when. And if you are interested in my private service, drop me an email at the address below, jefflaughtonmanagement@gmail.com. And on a separate note, if you want to see a bit more how I bet and that, there are a couple of interviews that I've done recently. I've put the links on those as well. Thanks for dropping by, and I will speak to you hopefully tomorrow. Thank you.